Good day, Sydney. I'm David Knight, Sales Master from sunny Brisbane, and it's a delight to be here. So I have the honour today, the privilege to talk about HemoHim. This is our number one product. This product keeps me going every day of the week. So are there anybody here who hasn't tried HemoHim? You have something to come to you. So HemoHim, how do we describe HemoHim? Well, HemoHim to me is a product that makes you feel $1 million. And I take it every day. It incites your immune system, makes you strong and healthy. There are many benefits from HemoHim, but it's been one of the leading functional food products in the whole industry. And since 2015, has been the number one product line for more than 9 years in a row. And that's been verified by the Fair Trade Commission of Korea. It's had worldwide sales last year, this is just 2023, of 185 billion won. And that is about 200 million Australian dollars. And strangely enough, that's how much we spend on the federal government. And I think HemoHim does a lot better than that. So there's been cumulative sales probably exceeding now more than 2 trillion won. So how many zeros in a trillion? I'll give you a hint. There's 2 hands and 1 foot to count the zeros. There are 12 zeros, an amazing figure. And to bring that in perspective, that means there's 220,000 people like you, like me, that have taken HemoHim today. And that's enough to fill the Sydney Olympic Park stadium, the football stadium, 2.5 times. Can you imagine that? That's 2.5 times the crowd that watched the mighty Penrith thrash Melbourne Storm last week. So how did HemoHim come about? It was born after 8 years of research by KAIRI, which is the Korean Atomic Energy Research Institute. You might wonder, why would an atomic research institute develop a food instead of making atomic energy like it's supposed to? Well, the answer is very simple. They needed a product that would look after their people and make them healthier and protect them in the working environment that they're in. So once they developed HemoHim, they then went to a world-class company called Korea, to commercialise and sell the product. And then that's where Kolmar B&H, as we know it today, came about. Initially, they weren't very successful. The problem was HemoHim cost you 2 arms and a leg. It's about $1,000 per box of 30 sachets. So it's not surprising nobody could afford it. They also lacked marketing experience. Would you go to an atomic energy place to go and buy healthy food? I don't think so. This all changed one day when our beloved chairman, Hangul Park, boldly approached the CFO of Kolmar B&H, who was a Mr. Chi-Bong Kim, for Atomy to market and be the sole supplier of HemoHim. Now just imagine this. Our chairman didn't have a company, he'd been sick, he was broke, he's turned up in a clapped old car, second-hand car, and he's come into a multi-million-dollar company to persuade them to let them market their number one product. And CEO Kim will freely admit that he was taken in by Chairman Park's vision and even agreed that he was tricked. In Australia, we'd say he was conned into agreeing to a price of HemoHim of 100,000 units per year instead of the 2,000 to 3,000 they were selling. And it's very lucky to us and all those people here who've benefited from HemoHim that our beloved chairman was able to persuade CEO Kim to go along for the ride. And he's just shared in the success that HemoHim is today. Him is sales in 20 countries with 23 patents, an absolute amazing situation. That including in Korea, USA, Europe and Japan. It's registered with the Korean Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, has halal certification, and it's got a new tick of approval, if some of you may know, from the Informed Choice Certified Product people. Now this is important because this certifies there are no harmful products in Him. So it means it's perfectly safe for every one of us to take. Now in Australia, we just got to be different because we're down under, we just have a different outlook on life. So here it's approved as a healthy food. Mixed herbal extract drink. Sounds absolutely wonderful, doesn't it? Race off to the shop and buy a mixed herbal extract drink. But it does you so much good and you need to take it. So every box got 60 sachets, costs you 148 Australian dollars, delivered to your door. It's delivered to your door. You don't have to go out to a health store. You don't have to go out to Chemist Warehouse. It comes to you. And it only costs you $2.50 each sachet, which is much less than a cup of coffee. But I can tell you, it does you so much more good. So when they started this project, the people at Carey focused on one thing. They wanted to know, amongst all the technology and materials available in Korea, what would be useful to help their workforce and would surprise the whole wide world. And they decided to research how Oriental medicines and ingredients and herbs would impact on the general well-being of people. And I must say they've been very successful. They tested more than 42 different medicinal ingredients and herbs, and then eventually chose 3. Each one has its own individual function, but when it's combined, it becomes the famed Him. So the 3 different products were Angelica gigas, Nidum officinale, and Peony lactiflora. And those 3 products now look after our health. So who should take Him? Everybody. You, me, the lad down the road, Prime Minister if he's listening. We should all take Him. It doesn't matter if you're doing exercise, you're playing sport, you're doing work, study, or like me, getting a bit ancient. It's a world-class functional health food that promotes your good health. And remember, if you're healthy inside, then you will have a happy and fruitful life. So I take 2 sachets every day, sometimes more, if I'm being especially busy, or my wife's given me another long list of jobs to do, or I'm tired, but Him keeps me going. Last month, I turned 71, so I'm still working full-time. And thanks to Atomy Him, I've got the energy of a person much younger than myself. Thank you. Now, our chairman, when he was here in this very venue, he told us recently that he takes 4 sachets per day. He takes 2 in the morning and 2 at night. The recommended is 2 per day. So if you're suffering from any health-wise, I can assure you, I've tried it myself and it's worked on me. If you take Him, you can only help you on the pathway to recovery. So how do you take it? If you look in front of you, you probably have a Him, and you'll see at the top there's this little dotted line where you're supposed to cut along with a set of scissors. It goes from right to left. Nah, never do that. I tear it from left to right, sometimes can be a disaster, and then I just take it straight from the pack. And remember to roll it up really, really, really tight so you get every drop out of that sachet. There are other ways of taking it, of course. You can take it in water. You can take it with Manuka honey. And if you really want a big kick, you can mix it with Atomy ginseng, and that will give you even more energy. Now, for those who've not taken it before, when you take it for the first time, you won't like it. I can absolutely assure you. It's just like taking Vegemite. The first time you ever tried Vegemite, Yuck. But it's wonderful. So just persist it, because you just need to remember how much good it's doing to you. And I have one little tip for all the gentlemen in the audience. I know you might think you're as fit and as strong as a mallee ball, but one day you're going to walk into a room where there's a virus, all the viruses known to mankind, and there'll be some we don't even know. Now, if you've been taking Him and your immune system is very strong, you'll walk out there with a big grin on your face. But if you don't, you should have been paying attention. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Good health. Happy Him.